Hi everybody, my name is Eric and welcome to Wednesday of Subsweek on the Pagan Perspective. This week I am outside at Bunyaville Reserve, where it's lovely and really nice. I was inspired by Meg, who did some videos of her where she was walking around and showing some of the landscape there. So I thought I would get out and walk around outside and have a sit down and have a chat with you guys out here in the reserve. We also have a new baby at my house, which is so exciting. So yeah, I thought I'd get outside and maybe film the video here for this week. Anyway, on to the intro and then to the question. Now this week's question, I'm not sure who it was submitted by, but it does say it's a team member topic, so somebody in the team must have suggested it, but I'm not sure who it is. Anyway, the question reads, how do you approach the topic of your practice with someone new, when dating or with children? And this question actually poked a bit of a shadow for me, and I sort of had to really sit with it and think about this question, and it really made me think about how much I want to share about my personal life on a platform like YouTube. But there are a few things that I do want to say in regards to this topic, because I think that maybe I can offer a unique perspective. For me, the topic of me being a magician or a witch or whatever label we want to use, I don't typically get past the question of, so what do you do for work, without having to sort of bring that up. So it's something that I definitely have to be very straightforward with and very open and honest about. And obviously, you know, if you Google my name, my YouTube and my Facebook and stuff will come up. So it's not hard to find out that I am magically inclined, and it's all very much out there. With dating, I have this thing that I've always said, and it's, when I'm dating, I have all my cards on the table, and those cards are tarot cards. And it's actually quite funny, because quite often on a first date, to break the ice, I will read someone's tarot cards, just because it gives us something to do and something to talk about, and lets me get to know them a little bit better. So it's a quirky first date, but it's something that I've done a few times actually. Not that I have a whole lot of experience with dating, and that's sort of why I'm a bit awkward about this conversation. Mostly because I worked with Hestia for several years and was taking oaths of celibacy. So I've been single for a long time, and I've only recently really gotten back into the dating scene. So it's not something I have a lot of experience with, just because of the way that my relationship with Hestia has played out. Because that was something that she definitely wanted me to do as I sort of worked on self-love and things like that. So, yeah, I'm not sure that everybody is on board with the spirit model thing and, doing what spirits tell you to do. But, yeah, that was definitely something that I had experienced with her. I think with children, it's kind of simple. I sort of started thinking about my nephews, because I don't have any kids myself. Being single and celibate for many years, I don't have any kids myself, so I was thinking about my nephews and my nieces and just my nibblings, right? Which are really the only kids that I kind of have contact with. My mom's an only child, so I didn't have any cousins or anything. But when I'm talking to them, Tommy Kelly has this thing he says, where he says every man, woman and child knows what magic is. And so it's really quite simple to tell the kids that I'm a magician and explain to them that I do real magic, and we sort of have to get past that pulling a rabbit out of a hat stage. But, kids are open-minded. Kids absorb information really easily, so when I explain things to them, they get it. They're not interested in doing it because there's no fireballs being thrown across the room. But, maybe as they get older, that will become something that they're interested in or not. That's totally okay. But it's available, and they know about it if they ever were to want to sort of seek it further, I suppose. I will say, though, that, this isn't a thing that regularly comes up for me, because I was thinking about it, and, the company I keep are mostly magical people. I don't really fraternize with Muggles. And I would say that that's pretty regular of, any religious group or religious sect. You see it, quite often in, cultish religions, like Mormonism or Jehovah's Witnesses, right? And I say cultish referring to, the Bite model and its assertion of a cult, not the historical context that we would use a cult when we're talking about a witch cult. Yeah, I mean that semantics, right? But just to be clear. So, you know, I would say that, like, that's pretty normal among religious folks to want to, like, stick together, and, like, if I'm not with magical people, it kind of limits the things that I would want or can talk about. It's quite funny, like, people, like, I often feel like people must assume that I'm really dumb, because, like, when we're talking about mundane things, I'm like, but the topic of spirituality comes up, and, like, that's when I can excel, and that's sort of my comfort zone. So yeah, I don't really socialize a lot with Muggles. I don't have a lot of friends who aren't magical. The ones that I can think of used to be. So these are people that, like, I circled with in high school and still have contact with, who don't practice anymore, but used to. So even then, like, I can still have conversations with them and they can keep up with me. But yeah, I don't really... And I guess, like, that's the thing, like, you know, people want to be surrounded by like-minded people, and I guess that makes sense. So yeah, it'd be very hard for me to sort of connect with somebody. And I think that sort of comes into dating as well, you know, dating as a magician or as a witch or whatever moniker you prefer. You know, it does make dating very hard. And I've often thought, like, you know, I don't know that I could date a witch because I know how dodgy witches are. And I don't think I could date a muggle because, like, they don't really know this huge aspect of my life. So it's like... It's always been something that's really hard to decide. I've always thought that maybe I could date, like, a really nice Catholic boy. Somebody who was, like, really into their religion, but not the same religion that I do. I've always thought that would be a good option. But, you know, like I say, I am single. I don't have any kids, so this is sort of just from my experience, and I guess, like, having it maybe come up more often than not because I do this in that professional capacity. So... yeah, that's just my 2 cents. I hope that you guys have gotten something from this. And to whoever asked the question, it was a wonderful question and got me doing some shadow work, so thank you. But until I speak to you guys next time, I will wish you all the best. Mwah. Bye.